There's something stuck up in the chimney and I don't know what it is, but it's been there all night long. Well, I waited up for Santa all Christmas night, but he never came and it don't seem right that there's something in the chimney and it doesn't make a sound, but I wish you a Merry Christmas. There's something stuck up in the chimney and I don't know what it is, but it's been there all week long. Well, the dog keeps barking up the chimney flue and we don't know what we're gonna do, 'cause there's something in the chimney and it doesn't move around, and it's been a week since Christmas. There's something stuck up in the chimney and I don't know what it is, but it's been there all month long. Well, it's jammed up tight above the fireplace. Now the house smells funny, such a big disgrace that there's something in the chimney and it doesn't talk at all, and it's been there since last Christmas. There's something stuck up in the chimney and I don't know what it is, but it's been there all year long. I'll be waiting up for Santa like I did last year, but my brother says he's already here, and he's stuck up in the chimney and he doesn't say a word, and I'll be there every Christmas. And we'll have him every Christmas.
Explanation, Shirley Green is our special guest, www.proorganizer.com. Shirley, people go to your website at proorganizer.com. What can they find there?
Well, they can find my 3 products, which are, we've alluded to, the pink sheet, the personal paper tracking system, which we've talked about as being the inventory system. And then there's the ebook I've written called The Diary of a Lay Caregiver, which is about the 20-some years that I cared for my mother. And I'm trying to show in that, Rob, that, like I alluded to earlier, it's not all doom and gloom. There are some funny things in there. There are some very, very rewarding times during this. It's amazing the people you meet that will be lifelong friends, and the knowledge that you pick up and how you yourself grow is phenomenal.
What would you say was your most amazing learning experience as a caregiver?
Gosh, learning more about my mother, because during the last few months she would talk more about her younger days. And there again, you don't know if it's the hallucinations because of the medications or because of going through the dying process or a combination of all of the above. But I learned a great deal about her. I learned a great deal about myself. I learned a great deal about my siblings and the extended family. Very, very rewarding.
Once again, Exonation, Shirley Green has been my guest this hour. www.proorganizer.com. Shirley, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show this evening with us and sharing. And I just would like to take this opportunity of wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas and
Rob,
a healthy, happy, joyous-filled New Year.
Oh, and back at you, my friend. Back at you.
Shirley, take care of yourself, sweetie. We'll speak to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
Stay safe.
We will.
Thank
Exonation, Shirley Green has been my guest this hour. www.proorganizer.com. That's www.proorganizer.com. I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break with the news at 6.5 minutes past the hour as we continue here in the X Zone from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. My name is Rob McConnell. I'll be back. Don't go away.
I want a hippo hippopotamus for Christmas. Only a hippopotamus will do. Don't want a doll, no dinky tinker toy. I want a hippopotamus to play with and enjoy. I want a hippopotamus for Christmas. I don't think Santa Claus will mind you. He won't have to use a dirty chimney flue. Just bring him through the front door, that's the easy thing to do. I can see me now on Christmas morning creeping down the stairs. Oh, what joy and what surprise when I open up my eyes to see a hippo hero standing there. I want a hippopotamus for Christmas.
Exo Nation, Shirley Green is our special guest, www.proorganizer.com. Shirley, how important is being organized in today's lifestyle and in today's society?
Well, I think it can save one's sanity or help save one's sanity. It can help save time of the yin-yang.
Mm-hmm.
I went through 4 hurricanes in 6 weeks back in 2004. Having that information ready, even though FEMA could not help me, was wonderful because I could then show it to the insurance company. It was readily available. I didn't have to say, oh, I can't get it for 3 or 4 weeks. They were absolutely astounded that somebody had that information available.
Now, tell me about your one-page emergency medical sheet, better known as the pink sheet.
The pink sheet. That came about as my mother's health went down. I was primary caregiver for her for nearly 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning, I could remember the 5 or 6 medicines she was on and their dosage and what she was giving them for, because so many medicines you get can be given for several different problems. And after she had a major heart attack with emergency bypass, I could not remember the 16 medicines they sent her home from the hospital with. I wrote them down on a 3x5 card. We outgrew that, and I put it on just a regular 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. And Mom had to go to the doctor by herself one day. I left work early and met her there. And I said to her, because she got called in before I got there, I says, how did it go? Did you have your sheet of information? And she says, I couldn't find it. I says, why not? She says, because it was a different color. It was white, and I couldn't see it. So the pink sheet came about because that's the only piece of colored paper I could find in the office at the time. I went scouring around the office I was in with the phone company. And this information is something, Rob, that my family's name is Green, as you've alluded to,
Yes.
and we became known as the Pink Sheet family. We had frequent flyer miles at several of the local emergency rooms, and the minute we walked in and they saw the name on the list, they says, we want to see the latest updated pink sheet. And they knew that I would have everything on there. It had all of her medications, the dosage, why she's getting it, every doctor she is seeing, so that they knew who was coordinating what. And it had a very high level of the major medical problems she had. She had a great deal of pain and had to have a morphine pain pump surgically inserted. And as anyone or most people know, narcotics and the bowels are not
Conducive
real
to
friendly.
each other, yeah.
Yes, conducive. Consequently, the little woman, which is one of our friendly names for her, had an awful lot of bowel obstructions. So they could see on this pink sheet the sequences and the phases that she was going through as to how often this happened, if anything happened in between, who was taking care of it, what they did to take care of it. And it streamlined everything in the emergency room, something fierce. And the comments all the time were, it's wonderful to have this. It's also wonderful to have it written down where it is legible and we know exactly what is going on.
So basically, you were like an IT nurse, keeping all this information available for the medical community.
That's an interesting way to put it. I've never put it that way. I like that.
You can use it.
I like that. Thank you. But on this sheet, Rob, it also had, I have two siblings, an older brother, a younger sister. It had all of our names, our contact numbers, and when this started, we all carried pagers. Now it's cell phones, of course. And it documented which ones of us were power of attorney, and there's a difference between power of attorney and medical power of attorney. And in the beginning, it was only my brother, and when he went out of state for a job, it is when she happened to have her big heart attack. Well, of course, we brought him back home for the surgery, but while he was here, we got that changed and added me also and our sister as medical power of attorneys, so that any of us had the say-so to do what we needed to do for her.
What does it take to input this information on the pink sheet?
It's I have created a very, what I feel is user-friendly format for people to, there's a complete kit of this. The kit includes samples of how to fill out the form, and then I provide you with a form that you just plug and play, as the saying goes. You put in your name, your address. It's a little field that you put your name, your address, your medications, your doctor's information in, and then all you have to do is print it out.
It's that simple.
It's that simple. There is a multi-page document on there where you can do your own research to pull all the information together to create your own pink sheet.
Now, when you were talking a little earlier about did you say 4 hurricanes in 6 weeks?
Yes, sir.
Holy
actually,
cow.
5.5 weeks.
5.5, my Lord.
Yeah, they were all Cat 5s.
The information that you supplied to the insurance company, or was it to FEMA, I'm sure that they found the method in which you were so organized a major relief to them, because I'm sure at these times they're just swamped with claims with lack of information.
The FEMA gentleman that came to my apartment at that time, what was left of it, I showed him the damage, and at the time he told me, we can't help you, you haven't lost enough. And I showed him my inventory of all. I had just moved in. I still wasn't totally unpacked. I had inventoried everything as I packed up here in Colorado, getting ready to move to Florida. And I showed him my inventories, and he told me, Rob, point blank, and he held this document in his hand, and he says, if the people I have already seen and the people I am about to see had this kit and had it filled out, I mean, that makes a big difference.
Sure does.
It would not only help him and his colleagues within FEMA, all the insurance companies, but it would help them too, because as I alluded to earlier, it does help things go smoother, therefore the sanity stays at a more even keel. Sure, it goes up and down, because that's a very upsetting time when you go through devastation like that. But if you have that information ready, rather than having to go, oh my gosh, where is it? I don't know. I don't know how big my TV was. It's part of it's over here, part of it's over here. That kind of thing. He was flabbergasted as to what I had pulled together. And then when I contacted the insurance company, I emailed it to them, and they were just as flabbergasted.
Now, did you inventory all your furniture, all your personal belongings into this program?
Yes. It is a plug and play, just as the pink sheet is. It's pre-formatted cells where you can fill in certain areas. There are other cells that are set, like the taglines for them, like warranties. You want to document every warranty you have. You want to document every piece of furniture you have. You want to document even in your house where your shutoffs for your gas and water, that kind of thing are. Because you never know what the disaster is going to be. You could be out of town and something is happening in your neighborhood and the utilities need to be shut off in your house, and say you have a neighbor watching your house. If they had this information, and you're going to be selective as to what kind of information you give them, of course. You're not going to give them all your credit card stuff and all your warranty stuff, but the utility type things, then they could go right in and take care of that. A lot of people have pets and have the neighbors come in and feed the pets and that kind of thing, or water the plants. They need to know this. That needs to be documented, not just, oh my God, so-and-so's house is burning down, or it's being flooded, or where is this shut-off valves in your house?
So the pink sheet and this insurance package, it's just not for elderly people. It's for all members of the family.
You better believe it. The pink sheet, yes, my heart is with the elder generation.
Mm-hmm.
But any place I have ever worked, you have to provide basic health information, emergency contact information. If you're like a diabetic or you're epileptic, I can't say that word, I'm sorry, epileptic or something like this, you need to let your employer know in case there's an emergency. And if you have it written down in a nice, concise form like this, it's going to make things a lot better for them. If they have to call the paramedics, they can just hand them this sheet of paper and say, here's the most current information as of whatever date, which happens to be on that sheet also.
Now, let me ask you this, and I don't want to play the devil's advocate,
Sure.
but what happens, God forbid, if you fall into an emergency crisis and you're unconscious?
Well, let me give you an exact example.
Okay.
When Mom was still alive,
Mm-hmm.
and I had not moved to Florida yet, but I needed a little R&R, so I took a couple days and went out to Las Vegas in like June or July, which is a little hot out there, right? I'm just walking. I walked from one casino to another, had lunch, started back, and I was overcome by the heat.
All right, we're going to have a little bit of a cliffhanger here because we've got to take our news break.
Okay.
Explanation, Shirley Green is our special guest. When we come back, we'll hear what happened to her in Las Vegas. Her website is www.proorganizer.com. That's www.proorganizer.com. Visit her website. She has some excellent gifts for everyone on your Christmas shopping list. That's www.proorganizer.com. My name is Rob McConnell. This is The X Zone. We'll be back after the news. Don't go away.
This is Lon Milo Duquette of the Great Work series at magicalegypt.com, wishing Rob McConnell and all the listeners and viewers of the worldwide X Zone Nation a very Merry Christmas and a healthy, happy, and safe New Year.
Little Christmas, right this very minute. Candles in the window, carols at the spinet. Yes, we need a little Christmas, right this very minute.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are a heel. You're as cuddly as a cactus. You're as charming as an eel, Mr. Grinch. You're a bad banana with a greasy black peel. You're a monster, Mr. Grinch. Your heart's an empty hole. Your brain is full of spiders. You've got garlic in your soul, Mr. Grinch. I wouldn't touch you with a 39.5-foot pole.
Exonation, Shirley Green is our special guest. www.proorganizer.com. That's www.proorganizer.com. Shirley, how would your systems help somebody who is an avid traveler, always traveling from one spot to the next?
The pink sheet would be the most beneficial one,
Mm-hmm.
because you never know when an emergency is going to happen. whether it's an airplane crash or whether you get sick on the airplane. You've got that information with you. If you're unconscious, like I was in Las Vegas, they find this information on you. They know how to treat you if you've got certain medical problems. They know how to contact your loved ones or who you've designated to be contacted. It is something, if you need to go to a new doctor, which obviously if you're taken to a hospital, they have you fill out sheet upon sheet upon sheet of information, and you can just hand them this and say, Xerox this. I'm not going to write this down.
Yeah. Is your information available online if somebody needs to download the information, or is there a way that the medical community can access the information that a person has on their systems?
Not that a medical person can access online. I am into hard copy.
Right.
Now, my next phase in enhancing my products is to go kind of halfway between the hard copy and the online, because not always are you going to be right by a computer. What if you're in an accident out in the middle of a desert in Utah or Nevada, where the closest thing to you is 100 miles anyway?
Well,
and if an ambulance comes, they are not going to have access to Wi-Fi out there in the boonies. They need to have a hard copy of that, and that's why I'm so passionate about the hard copy.
Well, let me just throw this at you. If let's use the same scenario. If a person does have an accident and they do dispatch an ambulance, the ambulance would probably be able to communicate with their base somehow or the local state police. And if they could contact a dispatcher, dispatch could very easily get online and acquire the information. In today's technology, paper is kind of on its way out.
Well, I see where you're coming from, yes. And that's why in our next phase that I'm already working with a technical person on, because that's a little over my technical head, we're going halfway in between.
Okay.
Now, the online thing, I still have a problem with because of how people hack into things. And I have seen that so much in the line of business I've been in that it makes me a little nervous. And that's why I also have my information, not only hard copy that I carry with me, but I carry it on a flash drive.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
That's easily accessible because they're right together.
Mind you, if you're in a car crash or if there's another disaster, the possibility of your information and your flash drive being destroyed are pretty high, aren't they?
Well, good point. Good point.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that's something that I'll have to. That'll be in the drawing boards with this next phase.
What needs to be inventoried when you're going through your list and you're preparing to enter your information so that your list is complete?
For the medical or for the home inventory?
Well, let's go first of all with medical, then let's go with the home, and then let's go with the office. So let's start off with home.
Okay. The medical, you would have, of course, your personal information, your medical company, your provider, your provider's number that is assigned to you. They all want your date of birth. They all want your medicines that you're on, the dosage, why you're on it. If you're allergic to anything, not only what you're allergic to, but what type of reaction you have. That makes a big difference to the medical field. And then you want your primary doctors, and if you've got any specialty doctors that you see, some people don't, some people do. You also want your primary emergency contacts, and if anybody has a medical power of attorney for you, you want that documented and how to contact these people. And you don't want just one phone number for them. You want a home phone, you want an office phone, you want a cell phone, because you never know what time of day, night, etc. this is going to happen.
All right, now when it comes to the information that is required for your home inventory list, what do you suggest that people include?
You want serial numbers off of everything. You want sizes of everything. like say I have a 32-inch TV or a 37 or a 55 or whatever, the make of it, when you bought it, if there's a warranty, how long this warranty is for, and if something happens, are you to contact the company directly, or do you take it back to a local dealer? How do they want that handled? It is good to photograph everything. It's great if you can videotape it. Not everybody has access to videotape, so you want a still photo. And the still photo, even though people say, well, that's all I do. Well, that's great. That helps. It's better than nothing. But you need to document all those serial numbers along with the sizes and the date of purchase, that kind of thing. It helps the insurance companies and FEMA something fierce.
I've got a
And
quick...
this is a great present for a realtor to give to a client as a housewarming gift.
That is a great
You
idea.
know, the realtor can start the kit by putting the information, say, about the refrigerator or the stove that's already in the house, or the microwave.
Something just crossed my mind, and we're going to go back to the medical pink slip, pink sheet, I should say. All of your personal information is on this sheet, right? What happens, God forbid, if you lose this?
It's no different than having your identity theft taken from your purse stolen. In fact, it's probably less information on there because your Social Security number, some I've put on there for people that I've done and some I have not at their request, which I understand. And it doesn't have any credit card information. So to me, it's no different than somebody stealing your ID from your purse or hacking into your computer, that kind of thing.
Now, apparently, from what I understand, a lot of what you're doing now has arisen from the care that you gave your mom. And
True statement.
Pardon?
True statement. I'm sorry.
And you know, what was it like being a caregiver to your mom? And how else did this affect your life?
That transitioned as over the years. I used to help her take care of my father, who we lost in 1984, and then she and I just became closer and closer, more as best friends than mother-daughter. We traveled a lot and had a heck of a good time. People never knew where we were going to send up a postcard from. And then her health started to intervene here. And as the health intervened, it just, my siblings, one is about to move from here, but he lives here right now. And nothing against the male generation or the male species, but a lot of men just don't like doing certain things with their mother, like helping them bathe and that kind of thing, which I understand. It wasn't easy the first couple times. And then I have a sister who lives about an hour and a half to the north of us, so it wasn't real easy for her to help. So it just transitioned to me. And I was the only single one at the time. That made it a little easier for them, too. And it just seemed that they felt that she not really trusted me, but she confided in me more about certain things. As the health deteriorated, it got tough because I was in management with the phone company at the time, working 10, 12-hour shifts, carrying a pager round the clock and doing the on-call thing. It's tough, but there's a lot of funny things about it, too.
Can you share a few of the funny things with us?
Well, when she got into the hospice, she thought at one time she was in a whorehouse. Another time there was a cat in the room, and she wanted to know why the cat could wander around and she couldn't. They wouldn't let her out of bed to the restroom. And it was funny. She hallucinated about, which you hear a lot about people who are dying, about people who have gone ahead of them. So she hallucinated about my dad and his brother. And
you know, but we have to ask ourselves, is this really a hallucination, or at a certain time in our life when we're getting ready to make that transition, that we actually have the ability to see, hear, and be with those who have parted.
And that I agree. I am just in the process of starting a book called 90 Minutes in Heaven that it is dealing with that very type of thing. And seeing her going, I had never been with anybody who was dying at that point, and it was a totally different experience. It's not something I want to do on a daily basis, but I wouldn't give it up for the world. It was an experience that's beyond belief, and I kind of do believe that. I really do.
Yes, so do I.
Yeah, it's she helped us. I think she, in her own way, helped us go through that with her. So it wasn't the ungodly grieving. I mean, yes, we grieve, but it wasn't as sad as you would really, really expect. She just kept us in stitches, and the entire staff at the hospice too. They were totally shocked over some of the things she was doing.
Really?
Yeah.
What would she do that would get the hospice staff going?
Well, the thing with the whorehouse was, I was laughing one night. She was in isolation because when we moved her out of the nursing home, she had MRSA, which is an infection in the blood at the time.
Right.
So they had her in isolation at the hospice. And so I was sitting with her, and I spent a great deal of time with her and helped them feed her and bathe her and this and that. And so I was sitting next to her, and she had been sleeping, and then she woke up and started talking about, she was whispering about my uncle, my dad's older brother, and how he was in the room there, and she knew because he had told her this was a whorehouse. And I was just giggling something fearsome, and one of the nurses came to the door, and she didn't know if I was laughing or crying, and she says, "What's the problem?" So I started telling her, and this is in my book that I've written about the Diary of a Lay Caregiver. The nurse had fairly long hair, so she flips it back, right? And she says, "Well, you only knew what went on around here after you leave."
Maybe your mother was onto something.
Yeah. And one night I was getting ready to leave, and I wasn't certain if she was awake or not. And finally I says, "Are you awake, little woman? Because I think I'm going to leave for a little bit." And she opened one eye and gave me this little grin, and the nurse was giving her some morphine, and she says, "Now, May, don't tell her we're going to party as soon as she leaves." And my mother started giggling. And I guess... Oh, and when the paramedics were transporting her from the nursing home to the hospice, and they were getting ready to take her off the gurney, and they were doing their count of 1, 2, 3, you know, "Joe, are you ready? Yeah, Bob, are you ready?" And then they said to the nurse, "Are you ready?" And finally, my mother says, "I'm ready."
Quit the gab and just do it, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
Unreal.
So that's the kind of woman the little woman was.
Exonation, our special guest this hour, Shirley Green. Here's the website, www.proorganizer.com. That's www.proorganizer.com. And as I said before, we've been talking about some of the products that Shirley has at her website. They're great Christmas gifts for one and all. And like Shirley said, if you're a realtor and you'd like to give somebody a Christmas present that they will get more use out of than you will ever know, please visit her website at www.proorganizer.com. That's www.proorganizer.com. I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break with Shirley Green as we continue right here in our studios from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. My name is Rob McConnell. This is the X Zone. 1-800-610-7035 is toll-free worldwide. If you'd like to send me an email, always enjoy reading email from the X Zone Nation at xzone@xzoneradiotv.com and our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. We'll be back after this break. Don't go away.
Greasy black peel. You're a monster, Mr. Grinch, your heart's an empty hole.
Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry
This is Carolyn Shield, representing all knights and ladies on the quest for the Holy Grail at www.bepureofheart.com, wishing Rob McConnell and all listeners and viewers of the worldwide X-Zone Nation a very Merry Christmas and a healthy, happy, and safe New Year.
The X-Zone radio and TV show is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X-Zone radio and TV show or in any manner endorsed by Rob McConnell, Relmar McConnell Media Company, Talkstar Radio Network, its affiliated stations, or employees.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X-Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Sleigh bells ring, are you listening? In the lane, snow's glistening. A beautiful sight, oh, we're happy tonight, walking in a winter wonderland. Gone away is a bluebird, here to stay is a new bird. He's singing a song as we go along, walking in a winter wonderland. Well, in the meadow we can build a snowman and pretend that he is Parson Brown. He'll say, are you married? We'll say, no, man, but you can do the job when you're in town. Later on, we'll conspire.
And welcome to the X-Zone, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell, and for the next 4 hours, I'm your host and your guide as together we cross the time-space continuum to this place that I call the X-Zone. It's a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. It's a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. And the X-Zone comes to you Monday through Friday from 10 p.m. Eastern until 2 a.m. Eastern on the Talkstar Radio Network, X-Zone Broadcast Network, UK High Definition Radio, Euro High Definition Radio, Star Cable, X-Zone TV, and our growing family of broadcast affiliates right across Canada, the United States, Central America, South America, the Pacific Rim, Asia, Africa, and Europe. If you'd like to give us a call toll-free worldwide, 1-800-610-7035. Email xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv@hotmail.com. And our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. My first guest tonight, X-Zone Nation, is Shirley Green. And we're going to be talking to Shirley about personal records organizer and this very unique and great idea for Christmas that Shirley has come up with, and we're going to be talking about that. But a little bit about Shirley first. She's a native of Denver, Colorado. She has lived in lived in that area for the past number of years, except for 9 months. Shirley has been an organized person back as far as she can remember into her childhood. Shirley began her professional career as a police dispatcher, where the organization skills were put to the test each and every shift. After the police department, Shirley found herself starting a 25-year career with the local telephone company, who went through 3 names while she was employed with them: Mountain Bell, US West, and Q West Communications. The majority of the 25 years spent in what is now known as the IT arena. Both as non-management and management, Shirley's duties dealt with mainly with disaster recovery within a regional data center in the Denver area. Like many companies, layoffs were plentiful as the company was taken down by the CEO. We're going to be talking to Shirley about organization. It's a very important aspect of each and every one of our lives. She is an organizing consultant. And if you'd like more information on Shirley, her website is www.proorganizer.com. That's www.proorganizer.com. And Shirley Green, welcome to the X Zone.
Well, hi, Rob. Thank you so much.
Great having
Appreciate
you.
that.
Oh, it's great having you with us. You and I have to take a commercial break in about a minute time, but I just wanted to bring you on. Are as many people as organized as they should be?
Oh, no, absolutely not. A lot of people in this day and age, time just doesn't allow it.
Mm-hmm.
We're all going so darn fast, it's crazy, isn't it?
It sure is. It's come to the point where you don't even stop and smell the roses anymore. Mm-hmm. There's too much to do. We're a drive-through society. Doesn't
it seem like it was just Christmas of last year and here we are again?
This has got to be the fastest year that I can remember. It just seems that time, boom, goodbye, away you go again.
Oh yeah, I didn't even have time to snap my fingers, and here it is again.
Well, you and I have to take a 2-minute commercial break, Shirley.
Okay.
I am so happy that you're going to be with us this hour. Exo Nation, Shirley Green is our special guest. www.proorganizer.com. That's www.proorganizer.com. And we'll be back on the other side of this 2-minute commercial break as the X Zone continues with yours truly, Rob McConnell, from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away.